Internal shifts truly do happen like that. They happen in the blink of an eye. But the gap between the inner transformation and the outer results transforming, that is what holds most men back from staying on the course. It's like when someone wins a lottery, let's say someone wins $1 million lottery, their outer results transform so fast that it's not in congruence with their inner identity. And that is what the gap between decision and reality is actually telling you. So, over the last couple of videos, I've been sharing with you how to transform your inner subconscious identity. And by doing so, your actions, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions are going to naturally and spontaneously start shifting so that you take different actions and produce different results. The problem is it's not hard to make an internal shift. It's not hard to have an internal realization. It's not hard to go back through your memories and to reframe things that happened in the past and to make those internal shifts. But what happens is oftentimes people make those internal shifts, and then when their outer reality doesn't transform overnight and they don't have the money and all the material possessions, then they think, oh, this stuff doesn't work, and they put it down, and then they often just go back to their old reality. Okay, when we are faced with this gap, you've got to understand what it really is, and that's what I'm going to share with you in this video so that you understand what it is and you stay on the course. Because transforming your outer reality permanently starts with transforming your inner reality first. Okay, so there is a moment every man knows. You make the decision, you look at your life, and nothing has moved yet. Most men misread what this gap means. They think it means the shift didn't work. They're wrong. And that misreading is what kills the installation. There is a moment every man knows. You make the decision, you commit to the change, you shift something internally. We've all had it. Where you have your mind, your thinking shifts. Okay, the way that you view past experiences shift, you reframe them, your intention, your focus, and then you look at your life and nothing has moved yet. And that gap, the space between the internal shift and the external result, is where most men lose the entire thing. Not because the shift wasn't real, because they misread what the gap means. They call it delay. They call it lag. They wait for signs that the shift worked. They check their results the way a man checks a watched pot, the way a man watches paint dry. You're constantly watching it, touching it, feeling the tack. Okay, and every time the result isn't there yet, the subconscious gets another data point confirming the old reality is still true. Remember from last week's video, I talked about your identity is just the sum total of all the evidence that you have collected over your life that either tells you I'm confident, I'm insecure, I'm worthy, I'm unworthy, I'm good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm a winner, I'm a loser, I'm beautiful, I am ugly. It's just the culmination, the collection of all the data that you have collected, the evidence of your life. Well, the same goes for this. Remember, you can have an internal shift inside that, oh, my past doesn't have a hold on me anymore. I don't have to keep telling myself that old story anymore. But you have to then start acting courageous, acting charismatic, acting confident. You have to act out all those things that we talked about in the last video to build up evidence of the new reality. And you have to do that long enough, let's say 90 days of practicing the new identity and then watching for the evidence, meaning watching for the results to show up. Like I said last week, is look for evidence of abundance in your life. If it's just a penny, okay, even just since last week, I could show you. I mean, just last night I had another business. I just started another business. So in the last 122 days that I've been on this journey personally, okay, I've started 3 businesses, about to start my 4th, successful launches that could produce massive results in my life. Now, it might take me a year's worth of work before the fruits of my labor really show up, but I understand that what it is, it's I have to do the work. And the work is not working on websites and doing all this other stuff. The work is feeling abundant, feeling successful, seeing it in my mind's eye and building up the evidence. Because if I were to take 10 minutes every single morning and sit right here in this chair, and in my imagination, I'm seeing my success. I'm seeing all these different businesses, all these different flows. Even in my mind right now, I see different channels of money flowing to me right now. Boom. And I practice this every single day for 90 days. That is how you cut the gap down. You have to spend time in the mental realm. You have to spend time in your imagination, seeing yourself as successful, seeing yourself as confident, seeing yourself as courageous, seeing yourself as charismatic, seeing yourself as abundant and successful. Okay? And that gap, okay, where were we now? Okay, they call it delay, blah, blah, blah. They check their results, and every time the result isn't there yet, the subconscious gets another data point confirming the old reality is still true. The gap doesn't mean the shift failed. The way you're interpreting the gap is what's killing the installation. Okay, in this physical reality, remember, you're trying to create a new reality, an entirely new reality. If you're trying to go from being a thousandaire to a millionaire overnight, the chances of that happening is slim. And if your internal identity is not congruent with that result, you could get the money like a lottery winner, and then you'll just throw it away. You'll get rid of it because your internal identity is I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of being a millionaire. So you might create it, but then you're just going to get rid of it. So you've got to understand that there's that gap of time between what you want, deciding what you want, and the creation of what you want. That gap in time is the time for you to build the identity. And if you don't do this work, then you're never going to get to the destination. And the work is internal work. Okay, so today, I want to give you a completely different framework to understand that space. One that doesn't just explain it philosophically, one that tells you exactly what is happening mechanically and exactly what to do while you're in it. So, part 1, the language problem. The words you use to describe the gap are actively working against you. Let's think of words right now. Words create spells. So the words you use to describe your reality, you're casting a spell on your reality. So here's something most people in the identity and consciousness space have never caught. The words used to describe the period between a shift and a result carry embedded emotional signals. And the subconscious is processing those signals in real time, especially the words you use when you are in emotional states. For example, start becoming aware of your inner dialogue when you are out spending money. Because the words that you use when you're spending money, they are either reinforcing the old identity or you're breaking the pattern, you're changing the pattern, and you're installing a new identity. Period. Money always comes back to me. Rather than, gosh, things cost so much, things are so expensive, why is this taking so long? So on and so forth. Time delay, time lag. It takes time to materialize. These are the standard phrases, and every single one of them carries a specific emotional signature. Consider this. There's a phenomenal book on my bookshelf over here called The Handbook to Higher Consciousness. And in it has some very powerful spells, very powerful incantations. One of them being, I always remember that I have everything I need to enjoy my here and now. Let me tell you something, friend. If you're watching this on a phone, on a computer, you're doing pretty well. The reason why we don't feel like we're doing well is because we're not fitting the standards that have been programmed by the Matrix. That in order to be successful, in order to be happy, in order to be good enough, in order to be a man, you've got to have this, this, and this. You've got to do. When I just come back to that, I have everything I need to enjoy my here and now. I have everything I need in this room alone to make millions of dollars. I have a beautiful son right upstairs listening to me talk right now. That we spend so much amazing time together. I have so much love in my life. Remember, this is just a fucking game. Okay, so the language trap. Let's zoom in on these. So, time delay, time lag, takes time, not yet, still waiting. Okay, that's a contentious signal versus a clean signal. I'm calibrating. You have to calibrate yourself to what you want. That's the name of the game. It's like tuning a radio station. You have to tune into wealth. You have to tune into opulence. You have to tune into affluence. Tune into it. By right now, I'm integrating a new identity. I'm in the process. I'm building. I'm becoming the man that I know I'm capable of becoming. Again, think of the words you use because words create spells. Words are spells. That's why that's called spelling. What delay signals to the subconscious? Think about what delay means in every other context of your life. Your package is delayed. That is a problem. Your internet lags. That is bad. Something was supposed to happen and it didn't, which means something is wrong. That is the emotional signature you are attaching to the space between your decision and its physical expression. Remember, everything in this world, everything in your reality, your bank account, your body, your relationship status, everything in your physical reality is an expression of your subconscious identity. So when you look at your life and you're like, man, it's not here yet. I just started a week ago and my life hasn't completely changed. Yeah, that's because you're not calibrated yet. You haven't been doing the work long enough to calibrate yourself. You don't even know what it's like to feel the emotion of courage, confidence, charismatic, certain about yourself, who you are as a man, and abundance. You don't know what those things feel like. We talked about them in last week's video. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. What are you doing to feel abundant? What are you giving out to receive in return? What are you doing that's courageous? It's courageous to stop doing drugs, drinking alcohol, smoking weed, watching porn, doing all those things. That takes courage in a reality where it's the norm. And only by doing the courageous things do you become a confident man. Okay, so where were we at? Okay, that is the emotional signature you are attaching to the space between your decision and its physical expression. Consciously, you know it's normal. At the subconscious level, the level that actually runs your state, your frequency, your behavior, the word itself is telling the system, this is broken. My system is broken. This is wrong. Something is not happening as it should. And the subconscious mind responds to emotional signals, not your intentions. What is that old saying? The road to hell is lined with good intentions. Your subconscious, your identity, how we impress the identity is through emotions. It is imprinted by your emotions. Okay, this is how most men contaminate their own identity work before it can land. They shift consciously and then immediately broadcast a distress signal at the subconscious level by calling the gap a delay. The first reframe: there is no delay. There is a calibration period. Calibration is not wrong. It is not a malfunction. It is the system working exactly as it should. And the moment you adopt that language, not as a technique, but as an accurate description of the mechanism, the emotional contamination stops. Part 2. So even just feel in your body the difference between delay and calibrating. I'm tuning in. Okay, you think of it like you've got these two radio stations. One is poverty, lack, scarcity. The other is abundance, opulence, affluence. These are two radio stations, 101.5 and 103.5. Okay, no matter what you do, no matter what you intend, no matter what you want and wish, if you're tuned to 101.5, you're going to get scarcity, poverty. You're going to get that. You've got to learn to get in calibration. You've got to learn how to tune in to the other radio station. So you got to just see it as a game, and it takes time. It takes practice. You've practiced tuning into this radio station for so long that it's unconscious. You just do it. You wake up and you do it. It's natural. You've got to learn new ways of feeling those emotions. Okay, part 2, 2 layers. Why conscious effort cannot reach the operating system. To understand what calibration actually is, you need a clear picture of the architecture. Because once you see the 2 layers and understand which one runs behavior, the gap stops being a mystery and starts being something you can work with precisely. So let's dig into this. The 2 layers. Okay, so you've got up here at the top, conscious. Your conscious mind only accounts for 5%. This is where your willpower, you are consciously making your body go to the gym. You're consciously making yourself go to work, do all these things, especially when you haven't done them. If you haven't built an online business, if you haven't traded crypto or traded Forex, if you haven't done anything, or you're doing something new, you're going to have to consciously use your willpower to get yourself to do it until doing it becomes natural, spontaneous, habitual, and ritual. Okay, the subconscious mind, now also, and we'll talk about it here below, the conscious mind operates at the beta state. Remember, we were talking about radio stations. We're also talking about brainwave frequencies. Okay, the conscious mind, you and I right now, we are operating on the beta wavelength. In fact, real quick, I just had an idea, and I don't know if we'll hear it, but I'm going to start. Hopefully we can hear that. Okay. Anyways, then you got the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind operates at the theta state of frequency. Okay. This is where 95% of your behavior is derived from. Okay. This is where your identity or your set point, this is your frequency. This is the radio station you're tuned into. You're tuned into scarcity. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not valuable. I'm not lovable. I'm not beautiful. You've got to change to where you believe I am beautiful, I like myself, I love myself, I'm worthy, I'm valuable, I'm a child of God, I am God. I am abundance because abundance is the natural state of the universe. And so what I do, the reason why I'm teaching all this stuff is what I help you do is get to the theta state, the theta brainwave state, so we can install new programs deep, deep, deep under the surface so that they stick. And then you're going to just wake up and you're going to naturally be attracted. You'll start taking a right-hand turn when you take a left-hand turn. You're going to start naturally saying, no, I got to go to work, or no, I'm busy, when your buddies ask you to go drink beers and watch sports. You're going to say, no, I'm too busy because I've got goals to accomplish. I'm trying to change my life. I love you guys, but I can't hang out with you anymore. You guys are going nowhere. Okay, so the conscious layer. Your conscious mind operates in beta state. You're waking, analytical, decision-making awareness. This is where you set intentions, form beliefs, and make commitments. This is the layer most personal development operates on, and it accounts for approximately 5% of your behavior. So when you read a book, you go to a seminar, you do any of this stuff, it's really just operating at the conscious layer. We want to get to the subconscious layer. Your subconscious mind operates primarily in theta state, which is 4 to 8 hertz. This is where your identity model lives. The operating system installed before you were 7 years old. So that's why it's so important, I talked about this in the last video, is getting a journal, a notebook, and writing down your memories. Every day, going back to when you were a child. What did you learn about money? What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about your body? What did you learn about food? Especially not just what you were told explicitly, but what you saw as an example. If your parents eat junk food and Cheetos and Doritos and bullshit, Hot Pockets, then chances are you're going to eat the same food. Okay? I grew up eating Mexican food, Spanish food, things like that. That's why those are my favorite types of food, or they used to be. But as I'm changing my identity, I'm not as attracted to those foods as I once was. Okay, the operating system before you're 7 years old, reinforced through decades of repeated experience. I would eat pozole every year around Christmas, reinforcing a cyclical pattern. Tamales and pozole every year. Filed as the definition of who you are. This layer accounts for approximately 95% of your behavior. When you shift your conscious intention, meaning you have an aha moment, you have it consciously. Some of it seeps down, but most of it's consciously. You have updated the 5% layer. The 95% layer, the one that actually runs your behavior, determines your set point, and produces your results, has not yet received the update. Think of it like this. You go to a seminar, you get hypnotized, okay, any of this stuff that's one-time use. You read a book, any of that type of stuff, and you have these aha moments, you have these great ideas. Oh my God, that sounds so good. You had it at a conscious level. And if you implement it, it gets down even deeper. It might soak down here 20, 25%. You've got to really soak it into where it's I am responsible, I am scheduled, I am structured, I am responsible. If I didn't just say that. Okay? The 95% layer, the one that actually runs your behavior, determines your set point, and produces your results, has not yet received the update. Why? Willpower bounces off. Willpower operates at the conscious level. It is above the waterline. The identity set point lives below it. You cannot renovate the foundation of a building by shouting at the walls from outside. Willpower cannot reach the layer where behavior is actually determined. Now, you must use your willpower to get yourself to do what you must do to get that influence on the subconscious level. Let me be clear. Your willpower is a tool that you must use, and you must get good at using it for sure, because only by exercising your willpower will you be consistent and disciplined enough to actually affect the subconscious identity. The calibration period is the time it takes for the new identity signal to reach the subconscious layer, build enough evidence density to be recognized as real, and begin to override the existing model. Read that again. The calibration period, the time from when you decide to change and the time where your reality changes, is the time it takes for the new identity signal, conscious, to reach the subconscious level. Build enough evidence, meaning repetition, doing courageous things, doing confident things, feeling and doing abundance things, to build up enough evidence density to be recognized as real. So that when you say, I am abundant, then you have, like I said last week, if you have 100 examples, recent examples that are emotional and strong, go out and, like I said, go out and give to the needy. Give them money. Give them time. Give them your old clothes. Have conversations with them. Give them your time. That will feel good. And then you will have those recent memories or evidence of being in abundance. Because when you give, what you're really telling your subconscious and you're telling the universe is, I have more than enough. I have so much I can give to those who don't. And begin to override the existing model. That's what we're trying to do, is override the old identity. Remember, scarcity, lack, poverty. Okay, part 3, the identity thermostat. Results always return to the set point until you reset it. Here is the analogy I want you to hold. Your subconscious identity is a thermostat. It has a set point, a temperature. It has been calibrated to maintain. When your external circumstances rise above that set point, meaning you think you're good enough, you're used to making $100,000 a year, then all of a sudden you make $1 million. Okay, when your external circumstances rise above that set point, the thermostat activates and brings it down. I'm not good enough. You're going to blow the money on bullshit. Go out and buy a new car, buy new designer clothes, all this stupid stuff, and get rid of the money because it's too hot. Man, that's too hot. That's way too much for me. I'm not good enough. People that have lots of money are bad, and I'm not a bad person, so I got to get rid of all this money. Conversely, when they fall below it, the thermostat activates and brings them back up. So again, just look at your results over the last 10 years. Look at your bank statements, look at your tax returns you've made in a very small bandwidth. The average income in America is between $32,000 and $54,000 a year. So that's the bandwidth. Where do you sit? It's pretty much the same. Blah, 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 blah. When you need money because you ain't got enough, you'll go out and hustle, or you'll get checks in the mail, or something miraculous happens to bring it up. And if you were to go out and win a lottery, a lucky pull on the slot machine, you win $20,000, you will get rid of it. Which brings us to our point. Why lottery winners revert. Men who win the lottery are statistically back to their original wealth level or worse within a few years. Not because they were unlucky, because the external result changed while the identity set point didn't. The thermostat corrected. The result calibrated back to the identity. You can't, the identity, the subconscious always wins. This is why men who have had a significant achievement, a business win, a physical transformation, A relationship success, often find it eroding back over time. The result got ahead of the set point. The thermostat brought it back to reality. Your reality is a reflection of your subconscious identity. That is the first principle in this work. You have to be willing to look at your life and say, okay, here's a screenshot. This is what my bank account looks like. This is how much I earn every month. This is how much I weigh. Get on the scale. Go weigh in. These are my relationship patterns. I get in a relationship, I break up, or I stay single. I've been single for 7 years. Because based on choice, but anyways. The result got ahead of the set point. The thermostat brought it back. You've got to see where you are and where you want to be and who you must become. You must calibrate in harmony with the reality that you desire. Why the fastest transformers reset the thermostat fast. The men who transform fastest are not the ones who try the hardest. They're the ones who understand that the set point, the subconscious identity, is the only thing that matters. When the set point shifts, the results follow automatically. They must. Not through effort as the mechanical output of a man operating from a new identity. The calibration period is not a waiting period. It is the window during which the new set point is being established. Every action consistent with the new identity is evidence to the subconscious that this is the new normal. You must build a memory bank of evidence of I am an abundant man. I am a successful man. I am a confident man. I am a courageous man. I am a charismatic man. I am an empathetic man. I'm a strong man. I'm a smart man. When I say those, I'm very certain because I've been doing this for a long, long time. 20 plus years I've been doing this. So I do these practices still till this day. I do them with my little boy. Where now I'm very certain of myself. I hope that I convey it through the video. When I walk into a room, people look at me and they're like, what the fuck is different about this guy? His aura is on fire. Okay, the man who understands this does not check his results obsessively during the calibration period. He focuses entirely on building the evidence at the subconscious level. Okay, you've got two areas of focus, the mental realm and the physical realm. We have been programmed to focus on changing the physical realm through brute force by going out and working hard, grinding, hustling to change our reality, where our reality is a reflection of our mental realm, how we see ourselves at the subconscious level. If you were to focus just 45 minutes a day, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the middle of the day, 15 minutes before you go to bed. You're laying in bed for 2 of those periods of time. Visualizing. I walk you through the visualization. So all you've got to do is listen and play with your imagination. As you start to shift and start to feel these feelings and you're excited to go into, it's daydreaming. And you get excited, you start feeling those feelings, and then things start happening to reflect that an opportunity shows up, and that opportunity is like, oh my gosh, this could be it. And then you start taking action, it starts producing results. You're like, oh my God, this is it, this is it, this is it. And boom, there you go. You've got it. He focuses entirely on building the evidence at the subconscious level because he knows that when the set point shifts, the results will not require effort. They will simply be the natural set point. One of my friends and mentors said, if you are working hard, you're grinding, you're hustling, and things aren't working out, you're doing it wrong. And you're not tuned in. You must tune in. Your subconscious, your identity is not in resonance, not in harmony with your vision. So you're out here focused too much on this and not enough on this. That's why I created the CERT recordings, the subconscious identity reprogramming technology. 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon, 15 minutes while you're laying in bed at night before you go to bed. Okay, part 4, what you are actually after. This is the secret sauce right here. The result has never been the real target. The identity was. Here is the deeper truth, and it is the one most men resist. The money, the relationship, the body, the position at work. You do not actually want the thing. Read that again. The money, the relationship, the body, the house, the car, the vacation, the yacht, the helicopter, whatever it is, you do not actually want the thing. You want the feeling that having the thing would produce. The feeling, or excuse me, the freedom that money gives you to not have to go to some shitty job and listen to fucking Brenda and HR and nobody wants to go to some shitty job that barely makes ends meet. So you want the money because it brings freedom. You want confidence. You want the certainty. You want the love. You want the connection. The sense of being the man you always knew you were capable of being. That is what you want. And what you believe is when I have the money, then I'll know. That will be the evidence showing me that I'm the man that I know is within me. I'm capable of being my potential. When I have the house, the car, the wife, the kids, when I have all this stuff, finally I will feel good enough that I've reached my potential. But if you don't feel that first, you'll get the wife, she'll cheat on you, she'll divorce you, she'll leave you, she'll take half your shit, she'll talk badly behind your back, you'll lose the job, you'll lose your business because you weren't calibrated on the inside. You hustled and grind and you made it happen, that's for sure, but you weren't calibrated. You didn't feel worthy on a deep level, and then you lost it. Okay? A specific income. Your reason you want that, what you think you want, what you actually want. You want to feel free. The relationship. You want to feel chosen. You want to feel loved. You want the body because you want to feel powerful. You want to feel strong. You want to feel vital and virile, masculine. You don't want the opportunity. You want to feel certain that you are on the right path in your life. You don't want the recognition. You want to feel like the man. I'm a fucking winner. You don't want the position. You want to feel that you've arrived. Here's the cheat code. What can you start doing every day to feel these feelings? How can you feel free right now? How can you feel chosen right now by yourself? Let me tell you, if your cup overfloweth with love, self-love that you generate on the inside, that when you look at the mirror, you're like, man, I'm so proud of you. I love you so much. My cup, I'm not looking from the outside. I don't need some woman to tell me she loves me, to tell me I'm handsome. I don't need that. I appreciate it when it happens. And let me tell you, it happens more often than not because that's how I see myself in the mirror. And let me tell you, it was not always that way. For sure it wasn't. How can you feel powerful today? How can you feel certain today? How can you feel like I'm the man today? How can you feel that you've arrived today? Remember last week, I'm setting my anchor because as I'm saying that, I'm feeling it. I feel certain about myself. I know who I am. I know I'm a good man. I'm a great father. I'm the best father I've ever seen in my whole life. And I take great pride in that. Man, I'm so smart. There's nothing I haven't been able to do. Me and my son just this morning, he's working on his homework right here. And I'm working on the new business I just started last night. And man, I'm doing some killer shit. And man, I'm just saying, I'm fucking so proud of myself. Yeah, so I'm just, boom, I'm anchoring it. Remember, last week I'm anchoring it. Where's my, right here, baby? Boom, boom. Yeah, yes. That's why I love making these videos, even because I'm certain. And I want that to seep in to you. I want you to feel that. Because, man, if you would have known me 20 years ago, I was going to kill myself. I hated myself. Hate. Hate's the only 4-letter word we don't say in my house. And the exact same stuff I'm sharing with you is how I completely changed my life. I've made millions of dollars. I'm about to make millions more. I'm on track to become a billionaire over the next 5 years. Got an incredible family. I'm so dang blessed. All because I understand what I'm sharing with you today. And let me tell you, stuff is cool. It's cool, man. But it's never going to get you to feel this stuff. You've got to feel this first. So you've got to ask yourself, what can I do, which is a strategy? What can I do to feel free, to feel chosen, to feel love for myself, to feel self respect, to feel self confident, to feel courageous, to feel powerful, to feel chosen, to feel certain? What can I do today? It's as simple as go for a walk and say hi to people. It's as simple as go out and get $100 in ones or fives and go give people money and say, hey, buy yourself a cup of coffee, buy yourself a drink. Here you go. And then then you're going to strike up conversations and then do it. I dare you. I double dare you. Okay, why this changes everything. If the money would make you feel free, the target is freedom, not money. If the relationship would make you feel chosen and seen and loved, the target is that feeling of being chosen, not the woman. If the body would make you feel powerful and in control, the target is that identity, not the physique. Because remember what it takes to get the physique. It takes commitment, takes consistency, it takes sacrifice, it takes discipline. Those are all the attributes or qualities of a powerful identity. Every desire, stripped back far enough, is a desire to feel like a different man. And if that is true, if identity is the actual target, oh, okay, good. Then the man who installs the identity first doesn't wait for the feeling. He already has it. Everything that you want, the feelings, freedom, confidence, courageous, charisma, abundance, powerful, certain, they all are within you. It's like playing an instrument. I know how to play the guitar. I know how to play the drums. I can play the piano. I can sing because I practiced for so many years. But guess what? If you don't know, if you haven't practiced, you can't play them. So guess what? You've been practicing insecure, inferior, worthless, shy, whatever it is, broke. You've practiced that long enough. You've got to practice the new emotions. The distinction between touched but didn't land. The concept of detachment from outcome is real but incomplete when it's framed as a psychological technique. It is not about forcing yourself not to care. It's about recognizing that the outcome was never the real target. The identity was the target. And identity is not downstream of results. You don't get the results first and then feel it. You feel it first and then the results reflect it. You might get the results first, but if the identity doesn't reflect it, you'll lose the results. Get what I'm saying? The results are downstream of identity, always, without exception. The man who understands this feels the calibration period differently. I'm just playing a game. I'm learning how to play a new instrument. I'm learning how to play abundance, affluence, opulence, not fear, worry, anxiety, poverty, scarcity, lack. Not as absence, not as waiting, as confirmation. Every day that he holds the identity without the result propping him up is another day of evidence that the identity is real, durable, and permanently installed. I don't need money to feel free. I don't need a Constitution of the United States of America to feel free. That's why it's a God-given, unalienable right of freedom. I'm free no matter where I am. I'm free. You can't take my mind away. I'm free. Okay? You can't take back that I'm a good person. You can't take back that I'm a confident person. You can't take back that I'm a loving, caring, lovable man. You can't take that away. So I don't need the evidence, the results to prop me up. They certainly amplify it. Like when I go out and I'm wearing, a $250,000 watch or one of my other watches, and I'm wearing, all this gold all around me, then people are like, well, something different about that guy. He's wearing $50,000 in just gold jewelry all around him. It's just part of the aura, baby. The man who builds the identity first does not hope the results will come. He knows it will. The way a man knows that if you change the thermostat, the temperature will follow. We're going in and we're changing the temperature, the thermostat. Right now, you're set at $100,000 a year. You're set at $50,000 a year. You're set at $30,000 a year. You got to turn that fucker up to $1,000 a week, $1,000 a day, $1,000,000 a week. Because abundance is the natural state of the universe. Okay, part 5, the theta protocol. What to do in the calibration period, the access points, and the work. This is the hack. This is how to collapse time. This is how to get to where you want. This is how to produce the results you want much faster than brute force, much more than just focusing on the material world. You must focus intentional time on the mental realm, where your imagination resides, which is much more powerful than your willpower. The calibration period is not a waiting period. It is a working period. I love that. Specifically, it is the period during which you do the most important work of the entire process, the subconscious installation. And that work requires access to the theta state, the only state where the subconscious accepts new identity programming directly. The 2 theta windows, zoom in, your daily access points. Every morning, you've got about 20 to 30 minutes after you wake up. You're still kind of groggy. Your eyes are, you're not fully in the simulation yet. That's when your brain waves are still very much in the theta brainwave state. And then right as you're falling, as you're drifting and falling asleep, it's hard for you to keep your eyes open. You feel yourself dozing. Your head's bobbing. You're changing brainwave frequencies to beta down to theta. Okay? What we want to do is we want to take advantage of these times so we can go in, we can bypass the conscious mind, we can go into the subconscious, and we can install very powerful ideas through visualization, through affirmation, through repetition. Why theta state matters. Theta is 4 to 8 hertz. the brain wave state between waking and sleep. In that state, the filter between the conscious and subconscious mind dissolves. The subconscious becomes receptive to direct input without evaluation, without resistance, without the critical faculty filtering it. This is the same state a 7-year-old brain spends most of its time in, which is why the identity programs installed in early childhood are so deep and so durable. They are entered when the gate was open. The SIRT or CERT protocol uses the same gate deliberately for the identity you are choosing now. Think, kids up until about the age of 7 or about the age of reason, they're very much in their imagination. They're very imaginative. What we want to do is we want to get into the period of time when you are most imaginative, when you're waking up, just coming out of the dreamwave state, and right before you go to bed and you're drifting into the dream state. The two natural theta windows. You have two natural theta access points every day. The moments right before you fall asleep and the moments right after you wake up, before your eyes are fully open, you're conscious, you're aware. These are not rest point periods. They are the daily windows through which the new identity can be installed and compounded. So, the SIRT protocol. What to do in each window. Morning activation. So, I've created it's called the subconscious identity reprogramming technology. So, they are audio programs that you listen to every morning before you get out of bed. In the afternoon, while you're on a break, go for a walk. Listen to that one in the waking state. And then the nightly integration. Right before you go to bed, you're laying in bed, you're in a restful state, you're in that dozing off state. Or right as you're going into that, you want to be listening to these. So, morning activation before eyes are open, before you're awake, before you're fully conscious in this realm. You stay still, you hold the identity of the man you are becoming. Not what you want to have, who you are, your ideal self. See the world through his eyes. Feel his certainty in your body. You want to feel certain that I'm the fucking man. There's nothing I cannot be, do, or have when I put my mind to it, when I'm committed. Let his way of moving through the day, let his way of moving through the day be the first input your nervous system receives. You want to imagine yourself being a different man so that when you get out of bed, you're going to act in congruence with that man, not the little bitch that you were, the insecure, the scared, the anxious, the worried, the fearful guy that, oh, I don't have enough money. There's not enough money out there. You're not motivating yourself. You're setting the identity for the day. The nightly integration. As you descend towards sleep, you're going to review the day, not for failure, but for evidence. Moments where the new identity showed up, where you were confident, courageous, charismatic, certain of yourself, where you were abundant, meaning you were generous, you were grateful, you were benevolent. Decisions made from the new operating system, actions taken in alignment, file each one as confirmation. Every piece of evidence deepens the install. Every night compounds what the morning activated. 30 days equals a different operating system. So if you do these, if you listen to these recordings every day faithfully for 30 days or less, you will be a completely different man. Period. Okay, we just went over these. Okay, the visualization that reaches the subconscious. When you notice anxiety or impatience in the calibration period, When you catch yourself looking for signs or checking results, that is a signal, not that the installation isn't working, that you need to go deeper. You won't need to check your bank account when you know money's coming in, when you got Shopify alerts that are going cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. You won't need to look. You'll just be used to it. It's just a part of my reality. Making money flowing into my life 24 hours a day from all these different channels. That's just normal. That's just my status quo. That's just homeostasis for me. In either theta window, run this. Visualize someone you love, acknowledging the reality of what you have become, not praising you for something you achieved, recognizing who you are. Wow, you're different. What's different about you? What's changed? What are you doing? I've never seen you so certain. I always knew this was you. Loop it until the emotional charge is neutral, until the subconscious has absorbed the scene as memory rather than desire. When the subconscious has filed the scene as already real, the urgency dissolves. Not because you've given up, because the identity is already installed. The result is simply calibrating to match it. Part 6, the calibration arc. What is actually happening during the gap day by day? The calibration period has a predictable arc. Understanding it removes the anxiety from the process and replaces it with orientation. You always know where you are. You always know what the next phase brings. So right here, you've got day 1. You go to the seminar, you watch one of my videos, something like that. You make a decision. I'm going to change. I'm serious about changing my life once and for all. I'm serious about making more money. I'm serious about losing the weight. I'm serious about getting better with women. I'm serious about whatever it is. I'm committed. I'm willing to do whatever it takes, meaning I'll cut off friends. I'll cut off drinking. I'll cut off all this bullshit that I'm doing. Because remember, all that bullshit is attached to the old identity. Only when you're ready to give up everything will you be ready to accept everything. Okay, so that's the decision point. Calibration begins from day 1 to day 7. Identity builds, evidence density, increasing behavior, shifts before results. That's day 18 to 20, 18 to 15. Integration, day 16 to 22. New patterns, feeling natural. Results begin. Day 30 and beyond, new set point. Identity installed, results are the automatic output. Things can happen so damn quick based on what you put into it. I always say that. You're always going to get out of this what you put into it. If you're not willing to put intention into this, you're not going to get anything out of it. Period. If you're going to listen to these recordings once or twice and then you're done, then yeah, you're not going to do it. I'm walking you step by step through a process, a scientifically formulated process to help you let go of the past and install the future identity. You've got to do it every day until you start feeling different. You start acting different. You start consciously acting more courageous, more confident, more certain, more abundance. You got to act that way first. So day 1, the decision. The conscious shift is made. The new identity shift is named and defined. The old identity is still running at the subconscious level. This is not failure. It is the starting point. Remember, the decision is a conscious decision. It's not subconscious installation. The work begins now. Days 2 through 7, calibration begins. The nervous system begins detecting the new signal. Resistance often appears in this window. That's why most people don't make it when starting a new habit. The resistance kicks in. That's the old identity. And then boom, you're off track. Not as evidence that the shift isn't working, but as evidence that the old identity is still responding to the new one. The old set point is defending its territory. This is expected. This is correct. Be ready for it. You are playing a game against yourself. Are you strong enough to overcome what I call the little bitch inside? The little bitch wants to eat, drink, drugs, sex, rock and roll, comfort. That's what the little bitch wants. You have to defeat the little bitch within you to become the man that you want to become. Period. Most men can't make it out of day 17. They can't make it 2 weeks. Days 8 to 15, identity builds. Evidence density is increasing if you're taking action. The daily SIRT protocol is accumulating. Behavioral changes begin appearing before external results do, because behavior is closer to the identity layer than results are. You notice you are making different decisions automatically. This is the installation beginning to hold. Days 16 through 22, integration. The new patterns begin feeling natural rather than effortful. The identity is starting to become the default rather than the intention. Results begin to appear in the external world as the set point shifts. This is not coincidence. This is the thermostat finding its new equilibrium. Day 30 and beyond, the new set point. The identity is installed. The results are the automatic output of a man operating from the new operating system. That's why someone that, like, let's say an e-commerce expert, they can go out and they can set up an entirely successful e-commerce store just like that in a week and be successful, because they've taken all the time to build the identity of, oh, this stuff's easy to me. It's natural. It's spontaneous. What do you mean you don't know how to do it? It's so easy. They were where you are. They've built up an identity where they're so certain that they can go and do it, that they do it. I've seen it a million times. I'm doing it myself. 5 minutes a night, that is the maintenance cost of a completely different identity. Let's see. That is the maintenance cost of a completely different identity. The men who skip this eventually drift back. The old identity wins. The little bitch won. The men who do it compound forward indefinitely, because then they see that they can win. So what's the next target? The calibration period is the work. The men I've worked with who transform fastest are not the ones with the strongest desire. Desire is a state. States come and go. The men who transform fastest are the ones who understand that the identity shift is the work, not the preparation for the work, not the prerequisite for the results, the work itself. And the calibration period is not the space between the work and the outcome. It is the most important phase of the work. Every day inside it. It's a game. You're playing a game against yourself. Every day inside it, done correctly, is deepening the installation, building the evidence database, resetting the thermostat, compounding the new set point until the subconscious accepts it as the definition of who you are. When that acceptance happens, when the identity model updates at the level that actually determines behavior, the results are not hoped for. They are predictable. They are expected. They are the mechanical output of a man whose operating system has been permanently upgraded. The calibration period is not something to endure. It is the most important phase of the entire transformation. Use it. That is it for this video. The gap. Remember, there is a gap between where you are and where you want to go. The key is understanding that it is the work done in the gap that determines whether you get to the destination or not. If you want it bad enough, you will defeat the old you, the little bitch that's keeping you from becoming the man that you know you are inside. The man who is congruent with the vision, the ideal identity, the ideal reality that you want to live in. And the only way to get there is through repetition, through emotionalization, through visualization. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.